Good afternoon for ACUsports.com. I'm Lance Fleming, joined here today by ACU junior wide receiver Troy Grant and ACU head football coach Ken Collums. Grant Boone on assignment today, so I'm filling in. We'll start with Troy. Troy finally got a win last Saturday against Incarnate Word. You've really come on the last couple of games, 2 touchdown catches last Saturday against the Cardinals. What's been the difference for you the last 2 weeks?
Yes, sir. I just been believing everything, listening to the coaches, what they telling me, working on my technique every day, and just really just been giving my all.
This offense played its best game of the year last Saturday. When you've got a guy under center like you've got with Dallas Seeley and that can run around and make plays, how much of a difference does that make as you go into every game knowing that guy's going to keep plays alive for you?
Yes, sir. It means a lot because, it's just Dallas. No matter what happens with the play, he'll make a way happen. So that means just don't ever give up on the play, really.
When you're a receiver and you're playing with a guy like that, how does that change your approach to a play? Because you know that hey, you may not be the first, second, or third read, but he may come back to you after he scrambles around for about 5 minutes. How does that change your approach to every play?
It just really means that be aware every play. Always don't get caught slipping. Just always just do what you got to do, and if something go bad, just know Dallas gonna find a way.
You had those 2 touchdown catches, including the one from about 30 yards out where you were slipped out and you were wide open. Is the biggest thing on a play like that? Are you concentrating more on don't drop it because I'm wide open, I'm going to score? Is that the biggest thing going through your mind?
Yes, sir. That is the biggest thing. But at the time being, you locked in. We ain't had too many opportunities like this. You got to make this.
Thanks, Troy. Good job Saturday. Let's go to head coach Ken Collums. He's been pretty good the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he has. And what you see with us offensively, and definitely with Dallas and this group of receivers, is they're starting to get really comfortable in what they're doing. They're starting to get into a groove. For example, 2 of his touchdown passes, great route on the one right before half. The corner actually fell down because he ran such a good route. And the one in the end zone, he goes up and basically climbs the ladder. Dallas put it where nobody could get it but Troy, and he just snatches it out of the air. And a couple of, there are even shorter throws where he is competing at a high level, catching balls, protecting the ball. And when you can see that from Troy and DJ Fuller and the rest of our receivers who are new here, that, man, we're about to get in a groove, and that's what encourages everybody, regardless of whether we would have won or lost in the game. It's our guys played well for 4 quarters, and because sometimes winning and losing, there's such a fine line. You can win a game that you played bad in or didn't deserve. You got a couple of breaks and you won.
Or vice versa.
That's right. And so what we did is we won the game, but we have the satisfaction of stepping back and looking at it and going, you know what, that was a game well played from start to finish, and we won it. And that gives these guys even more affirmation into what we're doing.
You had talked the last few weeks about there are times when we're really good. There are spots where you can see that it's coming together. And last week you played the best first half you played in quite a while. You put a complete 4 quarters together. What were you seeing that led you to think that something like last Saturday was coming?
Well, I thought it would happen before that. It took us till this late in the season in order to do that. But when you have a bunch of new guys, take for example,
and a lot of freshmen.
Yeah, a lot of new guys and a lot of young guys. Take for example, Carl Whitley last year had a so-so season for the first half, but the second half he was our leading receiver. He would make play after play after play, and that is what you're seeing from these guys. So you never know the progression of a group of people, offensively and defensively. You don't know when that is going to happen, but we sure saw it last week, and that's fun stuff. That's what it's supposed to look like, and it was great to do that in front of a homecoming crowd. People come in from all over the place and all over the country, and we got to show them 3 hours of really good football.
We talked a lot about offense, but your defense took a team that put up 48 points and almost 500 yards of offense against the number 1 team in the country 2 weeks ago, Sam Houston. You hold them to less than 300 yards, 27 points, but 14 of those were either off a turnover or a short field. Tell me about your defense and how they played.
Well, our defense did a fine job against the run. Incarnate Word, they could run the ball against most people. Our guys did good. They made it really tough on those running backs. Incarnate Word had a couple of quality running backs. The other key thing is we got a little bit of pressure on their quarterback. We made him feel a little bit of being squeezed in the pocket. We didn't sack him a ton, and you don't really have to. You just have instead of a ball being on target, it may be on the back number, and that's what was happening definitely in the first half last week to help give us that big lead.
Now you get to go to McNeese, the hole as they call it, Cowboy Stadium, built down into the ground, and probably the best atmosphere in our league. What do you expect from your team Saturday?
Well, it's without a doubt it's the best atmosphere. When you drive up on the stadium, there's acres and acres of tailgaters, and they're immediately fussing at you because they know you're the.
Although they'll invite you to come eat a little bit.
I wouldn't know about that. I constantly get fussed at when I'm there, but what a great place to play. That is one of the elite teams in this league, and that's not by accident. They've done that. They've done it for years. What we anticipate is a hostile environment. It's homecoming down there, so our players are going to have to stick together, going to have to hold together, and I think we're at that point to where we can do that and expect to play well. But their defense, I mean, they're going to put pressure on you. I mean, a McNeese defense. When you say McNeese football, you immediately think of their defense. Their D-line sets the tone. They're very active, a couple of very athletic defensive ends and big guys in the middle, and of course they always have defensive backs that can run and play the ball and hit, and they tackle really well. Offensively, they're very much like we are. They're going to be multiple. They distribute the ball all over the place. They've got fine running backs, and their quarterback is playing well. They're coming off of a very clean game against Northwestern, and so they're probably feeling like they're in a little bit of a groove.
All right, good luck, Seth. Let's get a win.
Let's get another one.
Road win, hopefully in the offering for the Wildcats. They'll play at McNeese Saturday night. Kickoff at 6:05 from Cowboy Stadium. You can watch that game on KIDZ, my network here in Abilene. Check ACUsports.com for all the listings. The game is on American Sports Network. John Layfield, the old Wildcat, is calling the game again Saturday. You gave him a little bit of a hard time, didn't you, today?
Well, I think everybody gives him a hard time, and I think it's well.
And he fully deserves it.
That's right. He fully deserves it.
All right. Coach, good luck. Troy, good luck Saturday. For ACUsports.com, I'm Lance Fleming.